Good morning, everyone out there. Wow. Just taking a deep breath for a moment, just soaking it in a little bit. Mm, Anyone else out there feeling what I'm feeling? Anyone else out there? Anyone else delaying gratification and, just believing that genius billionaire founder guy is not just going to give up and run away or all that stuff? Do you smell victory of some sort? There's a lot of different levels to victory. Do you at least smell achievement? Do you smell green candles? I smell green candles because I see them too. I see them. I'm going to put those green candles on the screen. Again, anyone who's been watching me for a while, I don't talk about price a whole lot. I don't look at the price charts a whole lot, unless I have a guest on who's specifically, going through the TA or otherwise. I don't remember the last time I saw 40% up on any of these coins. Um, Combined HEX is over 2 cents again. I I love it. I love it. You get to celebrate every once in a while. How long will it last? I do not know. Will I keep myself measured? I certainly hope so. Um, I've literally thought about. I was like, one of those. There's somebody who's one of the big crypto influencers where when it gets frothy, when the top of the bull market, they just stop streaming. Is it Ivan or is it one of them? I remember them talking about that. And I was like, man, I need to write that down. I need to write that down so I don't, maybe it'll make me easier to stick to my principles, not become the hopium guy, all that stuff. I don't think I would anyways, but that's how exciting this stuff is to me. So good morning to everyone. There's a reason I'm streaming in the morning for the last 2 or 3 mornings, and it's because, well, hopefully everyone's getting some sleep out there. I know it's hard with such amazing, amazing, cool news, but wow, Fox Modder, what's happening? Phil Parada. Welcome, SMO Spider. DJ Bomber's here. What's up, Timothy? How's it going? Salutations to you as well. Finn Bear is here. Mark's feeling it. You know what I'm talking about, Mark, right? Hex Edits, open this video here, Maximum. You feel I'm feeling? Yes, sir. You know I'm feeling Hex Edits. Hex Edits has been around. He wasn't. He didn't disappear in the bear market. No offense to anyone who did. Just saying, I do hope we celebrate people who were sticking with us, doing streams the entire time. I think that's worth celebrating. I'm not saying we should do the opposite for anyone who wasn't, but I think the people who are around and stuck it through and really provided valuable information. And there's plenty of people out there, and Hex Edits is one of them, creating content and just believing in, again, just I don't want to get too philosophical. I don't have that much time to stream, but boy, is it good to see, and I really love this community, and it's one of those. The world, you provided value, and you're supposed to be rewarded. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how the world works in general. There are exceptions, but I'm just so glad the hard work is paying off from everyone. I feel it. I'm feeling good. I was feeling good the whole entire time, ups and downs, but I'm really feeling good now. So, anyways, good morning, Luda Seaport. How's it going? Wow, I don't. Ink is almost $1. I don't know what to do. Amazing stuff. We'll see how long, if and when we get over SAC. I mean, if you listen to Buck's stream this morning, or the Twitter Spaces, which is never recorded, it's unfortunate because it's full of alpha and a lot of cool stuff. I don't agree with everything you talk about in there, obviously. It does get a little, God, so we got to go there. But overwhelmingly valuable. Oh my gosh. There's no criticism I could possibly say that I don't get that would take away from the value I get from listening to those 5 a.m. Conversations on my side of the world here. So yeah, price charts are up. I guess everyone's really happy about that. But I wanted to go into, because I actually got a chance to read. It's actually really easy to read. Much easier than I thought it would be to read the the court docs. I want to get into that. Let me finish saying hi to the chat. What's up, Taylor? How's it going? How's it going? Just going to throw up the HEX chart while we're looking at this. Wow. That's on the daily too. Look at, let me try on the 15-minute. Look at that. Look at that. Let's look at the 4-hour. Look at that. Just amazing. Oh. Can we keep it up? I certainly hope so. What's up, Checker? How's it going? Maginit. I wish one day there's gonna be an AI that can pronounce people's usernames for me, so I can be better at that. Let's go, Archie. Red Squirrel. How's it going, Red Squirrel? Big GZ. How's it going, everyone? Okay, I'm going to again. Not gonna. It's gonna be a pretty short stream, but I wanted to go over. I'll put this in the doc because I think there's some interesting points here, and I don't think they're easy to criticize, honestly, either. I mean, all these points. I mean, you could talk about some people are like, oh, I don't care about the free speech one. That's never gonna fly. It's maybe it will. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's not like it's not worthy of putting in there. It obviously is. A lot of people say, oh yeah, but it's one of those things like we wish everyone cared more about, but they don't. It's like, well, you don't know. Like we could literally be setting new case law here. If this is successful, this could literally set the precedent to make crypto even more free. Now, I know a lot of people don't care about that. They just care about good news for our ecosystem or good news for their bags or whatever. But I think there's some higher level ideals which are totally up Richard's alley, right? Like that's what he's about, changing the world, being a force for good in the world, stuff like that. So I don't know who read this. Probably not many of you. I don't imagine, but it's actually interesting and it's well worth 4 pages. It's very well put together. There's a ton of other cases cited from it. I'm gonna skip the first part because it's just kind of like an introduction, and I want to get into the different points they go over. So the first short, so this is basically all the reasons why they should dismiss the case, and they're all very valid, very well referenced with other case law, and very well just described and very poignant. And they point out a ton of things, the SEC accusations that are just like, wow, that falls flat according to the research and the efforts put into here and different cases. So there's a lot of backing this up. There really is. So of course, should dismiss complaint because it fails to plead who's not lived and done it. So one is about like he hasn't been to the U.S. for well over a decade, no connections. There's other like cases. Again, they saw all these other cases about how people won and use this in other cases to be like, yeah, that's not, you can't enforce that. That's not a legit thing. So it pleads no US-based entities, employees, contracts, payments. Yeah, that was like, again, all this stuff. Genius billionaire guy, right? He was like, I'm not going to work for you. You must have no expectations. You can't buy stuff from me. You can't send me money. Like all this stuff. It was all to have the ultimate protection and to be on the right side of the law, right? Like he knew as long as you do this very carefully, you can do it. That's the idea, right? There's no contracts. There's some place necessary if it was right there. Let's see. Yeah, there's no process payments, especially in themselves in the United States. Of course, dismiss under also they're like dropping the papers at the police station, not valid service. So like they didn't even properly serve them. There's a couple different points in that one too. But yeah, I haven't even talked about his legal team. Oh my gosh, these guys. That's why it is always so amazing to me that people thought, oh, is he going to hire some good lawyers? Is he going to defend himself? Or like, well, what are you put yourself in a billionaire, like any rich person has like the best legal, like they're rich for a reason. First of all, they're probably smart unless they inherited it. Second of all, even if they did inherit it, their family has counsel like on for years and years, like all this stuff. I mean, just you got to really put yourself in the shoes of a rich, successful person to be like, why wouldn't they be heavily protected? Why wouldn't they, even if nothing else, if you didn't even know the right ones, the right people to hire, you would have advisors, or you would just give somebody who has experience doing this stuff, a lot of money, and let them defend you. And just times that by 10. Richard probably got these guys for very particular reasons. And anyways, second one, the complaint fails to allege facts that support conclusion that HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX investment contracts therefore are subject to security laws. The complaint lacks a single allegation of any contract involving Hart or anyone else, let alone investment contract. That's pretty key too. There was no investment contract. If there's no investment contract, all you have is these assumptions and feelings and, oh, does it look like this? And hopefully the judge is like, yeah, you guys there's obviously nothing here. And that's probably the one that may be challenged the most too, because if it, first off, go type in Richard Hart lawyers. There's like an 8-hour stream of them going back and forth on a lot of this stuff, which is interesting. And back then provided a lot of nuance too. But yeah, that's another main point they bring up. That's why it's point number 2 here. A host of other failures to plead an investment contract also warrant dismissal, which, as will be explained in Mr. Hart's motion. Yeah, even Big Jeezy here, no expectation. Even that's the thing. People try to do this thing where, but it's a wink thing. It's a nod. It's a whatever interpretation anyone has of the sacrifices is their own interpretation. What is actually real and in reality, and what the judge should go by, and what the court should judge people by, is what they actually said and did, right? Are we living in bizarro world? No. In reality, your actions, what you do, what you say, those are things that people put together as a picture of what something actually is. So assuming we're not in bizarro world, and assuming we have a fair judge and legal system, and I know you criticize the legal system all you want, blah, blah, blah. That's why you have lawyers, to make sure you're not getting screwed and you're not getting cheated and you're getting a fair shot. So everyone can say all they want about how no expectations, that wasn't real, and it was actually an ICO or all this stuff. What did Richard say and do? That's what we're focused on. And I hope that's what they take seriously. So great point. No expectations means no expectations. If you had any, that was on you. Richard didn't give them to you. And by the way, I'm really excited. Hopefully, Nuclear Herbs, our resident community legal summary analyzer guy, who's going to do a much better job than me talking about this stuff. By the way, I don't give advice of any sort, let alone legal advice. I don't have any legal background or analysis. I'm just reading this as a person in the community who may have some nuance from the past and can read English and put 2 and 2 together, and that's it. So I may be completely wrong about everything I say. It's my opinion. I'm just interpreting this as I'm interpreting. So let's just take that within context. So third, the complaint fails to plead fraud with the particular rule 9b requires. There are no misleading statements. Yeah, that's another thing. There are no misleading statements or omissions alleged, let alone any material. There's no cider officially pleaded. There's no deceptive statement or conduct at all. Yeah, there isn't. The biggest thing people would point to is oh, but you promised 10,000x, you promised 40% returns, all this stuff. No, there was no promises. Richard said this a billion times. It was designed to do these things, just as Bitcoin was designed. Ethereum was designed, implicitly or explicitly to do these things. You can use language to sell a product much better and not make promises. You can do that. It's possible. We did it. So yeah, I like this. It offers only a conclusatory assertion. The individuals had a reasonable expectation about how alleged pulse states would be used. Yeah, that's the SEC thing is super one-sided. It has no, and of course, all right, it should be, but when that happens, when you do that, when you're not fair and you don't talk about things in a fair way, then you lose resolution. You lose the context of things, and you just say things that you can't possibly prove. For example, it's being explicitly promised nothing. Somebody put together, I don't know if maybe they have already, somebody put together a clip of all the time Richard says, I don't work for you. I want to have a 10-minute clip of everything he did throughout the years. Him saying, I don't work for you. It's not an investment contract. I will do nothing for you. you know, this is all up to you. I don't make forward-looking price statements. He did everything correct. He did everything correct. You know, he's not perfect, but that's one thing he got right, was not, you know, being careful. And you got to be that way. Any high risk thing you do, especially if it's never been done before. Like imagine if PulseChain, PulseX and stuff, imagine if they do go to the moon. Imagine if they do it 100x, 1000x, 10,000x, whatever your vision for them is. Nobody's ever did that before with in this kind of scenario where it's went down 98% or whatever it was, HEX at least. And been involved in this kind of case and had a community like this. This is new, and yeah, we're killing it so far. Yeah, it was sad for a while, but this is pretty cool. Does not plead deception. Let's see, development. Yeah, so that's it. The only thing that would make it look bad is if PulseChain had not launched, and there was literally nothing. Even then, you could still defend it and be like, yeah, you know, again, no expectations, but it would look a lot. It would be a lot harder if literally there was nothing there, and just like you just had a whole bunch of people that literally were screaming scam because they didn't get a product at all. Which again, you can frame that how you want, but really glad the PulseChain launched. I'll say that. I think that was a huge win for. Obviously, there aren't any victims here. Just people using their money for what they want to use it for. The security, again, this is very concise, very simple language they explain this to. The securities fraud claim boils down to SEC's disagreement with how the 3% of PulseChain's alleged assets reportedly used, and the issue falling squarely outside federal security laws. Yeah, this is key too. Like, it's not even up to them to decide how, you know, corporations or entities or whatever do any of this stuff. To find otherwise would convert any instance of corporate mismanagement into a Rule 10b-5 case. Yeah, and everything they do, they cite cases that back them up. Whew, these guys are good. This is a great document. Imagine how much money and time went into this document alone, like millions of dollars just to write this out. I mean, it's worth it. It's living up to the. I'm curious to see any criticism of this document. Like, it looks legit to me, legit. So, fourth, court should dismiss complaint because the SEC runs afoul of the major questions doctrine by this action. Declarations only. Yeah. So this is basically they don't have control. They should be doing this in the first place. So you see what they did here? They hit them with like, here's obviously why it should be taken away because the stuff they're saying isn't true. It's like the 1, 2, 3. And then we hit them with the fourth. You don't even have the right to do any of this stuff. If any of those weren't satisfactory, that's the cool thing about this. There's so many points. So if you're a judge or whatever, and you're looking at this and you're trying to decide, you have to go through, imagine just imagining here, you're going to go through each one of these and be like, okay, does this make sense? And even if one of these, even if they don't like one of them, that doesn't really apply here, they have to say that. They have to say that to all 5 of these, at least. At least. Isn't that amazing? I like it. So this is basically saying, yeah, they don't have the authority to do any of this stuff in the first place. Yeah, they're seeking to impose their will in the $2 trillion asset industry. And then the 5th one is, again, the free speech, right? Okay, you don't like the other 4, you know, that's not what you don't see those as valid or whatever. They were like, also free speech. And then you put that in there. Again, the complaint seeks to impose content-based regulation of computer code. It's, of course, protected by speech. Got a ton of case law around that stuff. Yeah, I think it paints a pretty cool picture here too. So amazing. I think the first 3 reasons are really the meat of everything. They're really the meat, and basically they failed to prove any of this stuff. That it's not true. There was no contracts. There was no misleading statements. There's nothing around them, like even being able to say there's any what can happen with the money and so on. So that's kind of funny here too. So think about that. We've seen some of the funds move around from entities and stuff recently. This point about the how 3% of the funds were used, they claimed like $12 million of, which is such a ridiculously low number to even bring up. Like it's like the entities got like the sacrifices were like $2 billion, $1 or $2 billion. You're gonna say $12 million? That's all? Like that's like one sacrifice. It's like less than the biggest sacrificer for any of these projects. So, anyways, maybe something I would read into this at least is interesting. The entities that may be involved in a lot of stuff have been moving funds around, right? We've seen on Twitter, document all this stuff. They're saying here that they don't even have any right to even tell anyone or say anything could be mismanaged, any funds throughout the projects. So is that why, like, okay, well, we got a clear, number 3 here clearly says they have no right to even say yay or nay or good or bad or judge any transaction of all this stuff in the first place. So maybe that's, benevolent whales out there, maybe who are involved in this stuff. Maybe they're like, okay, well, we had clear legal ground of why it's okay that funds move around and stuff. That's one thing that may be interesting from this. No idea, total speculation, but that's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. So yeah, that's the 5 big arguments. There's probably more. They even kind of hint that too. Mr. Hart intends to move to dismiss complaint for foregoing reasons and potentially others. So again, leaving the door open. There may be more stuff too, but those are the 5. Sounds like we have maybe even some more backups. Like, all right, somehow, just in bizarro world, none of these stand up, and only one of them has to, right? Only one of them they have. Yeah, you're right. Case over. None of those stand up. Probably got some more stuff too. So Richard is interacting. His team, his crack team of all these people who've been profiled on Twitter and otherwise, look very successful, very expensive, and very much worth the time, according to this document so far. So that's all I got on that. Again, that's my analysis from reading it as a regular person. I don't have any experience otherwise, but boy, does the market like what they've seen so far. We'll say that. To chat real quick, and I'm gonna hop off. Only got a few minutes left. What's up, Ted Nelson? Welcome to you. Welcome. Godfather J6, how's it going, man? How's it going? And doesn't always better than one. Yes, it is. Yeah, I saw before the stream. I'm going to clip it too. Rand was talking about PulseChain. I actually tweeted about it. Let's check that while here. I tweeted. I didn't even look at it after I tweeted. People. By the way, Somi did an interview with Corey. They're like, that's awesome. Yeah, if somebody's doing interviews. Our friend Somi, more than welcome. I never even asked you because I never thought you were interested in doing that type of stuff. But if you are and you're listening, maybe we'll connect sometime. Let me refresh. I screenshotted Rand doing the. I'm so glad I called it right there because he was doing that. He was like, which coins pop out to you most? It's the Richard Hart coins. Amazing. Oh, it's good to have friends out there in crypto. Good to have people who recognize the opportunity here, and very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. So that's fun. Yeah, boom. Doing the Aris. Thank you, man. I appreciate the confidence. You give me a lot of confidence, and yeah, I put in the hard work. It is hard work. I do not deny that. But it's good. I like it. And if I stop doing it one day, I'll stop doing it. I want to give back. Hex in this community has given me a lot. So hopefully PulseChain, hopefully have an amazing year and a lot of people get to live their dreams. Tough and Berto, welcome. Marcia, they're sleepy. Yeah, I slept, I sleep pretty good, honestly, knock on wood. But yeah, I've been waking up early because I woke up early for Buck's Twitter space this morning because like it's always worth it. Or it has been, at least in the past. There's get some great insight. And he doesn't record them, so I kind of gotta wake up. So that was cool. I don't want to skip that back again. Yeah. What's up, DJ and Hexkin? How's it going? Aloha, new Noel thinks Yeah, it was pre-recorded. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I would do pre-recorded. And I'd just love to. I've never, I talked to him on. I think we, exchanged a little bit, I guess, on just Telegram. Like, yeah, I don't remember. So from time to time, we're in some of the same channels, I guess. So we we talk a little bit, but and of course he shouted me on the channel and talked about Go Real DeFi and all that stuff, which I truly appreciate. That's awesome. Yeah, I would do it if you want to do pre-recorded. I do that. You can do that StreamYard. You don't have to go live. You can do a pre-recorded. Pretty nice. You got me opportunities. How's it going? All right, everyone. That's all I got. Just a under 30-minute stream for you. And yeah, I wanted to go over legal stuff. That was interesting. And yeah, happy green candles out there. Happy green candles. I'll be back maybe a day or two. We'll see. Something pops up. It's just been crazy lately. One thing after another. Yeah, if you're subscribed to the channel, hopefully you get notifications if you got all the bells or whatever. And sometimes I don't tweet. Like I didn't tweet this one because I don't know. Unless it's a stream I'm going to do with another person, so they can retweet and tell everyone and all stuff about it. If I do solo, maybe I don't tweet about it much. So if you're not subscribed, that would be one way to get information if you're interested in that kind of thing. So that's all I got for you. Scivive and 5555.